Okay, folks, so it's been a few weeks. Last time I checked in with you all, I think it was after the Finger Lakes trip, and I was doing some work on my RV. And I've got another project I'm working on right now. I'm working on a homemade throw weight cannon, basically, that I can use for throwing my throw lines up into the limbs of some trees, and I'm doing pretty good by doing it by hand. But for me, there's always the challenge. It's always kind of an interesting maybe a process that goes on in my mind where I want to make a better way. And they exist on the market. I mean, you can spend a couple $100 and buy one that's already done, works perfectly. I just like doing it myself. I'm strange that way. But anyway, so here we are. I'm gonna set you guys right over here. And I don't know, can you see me okay? Probably. Might have to duck down a little bit, but I'm gonna show you what's going on here. So down on the bench, all right, so the baseline of this thing is I've got a piece of 3-inch PVC, and this stuff's rated for, I think, 260 PSI hydraulic pressure. We won't be using that much pressure in terms of air pressure. But actually, I'm taking this a different direction than air. I want to use hairspray. It's going to be like a potato gun based on hairspray. I know it's a little weird, but I just got to do it because I've never done one. So I've got my igniter here. This is a charcoal grill igniter. It's a piezo element in here that generates a high voltage, low current force that will jump a gap. This is the actual electrode that will attach to it, and this tip right here will present the voltage. And if you have a grounded element or a return element to the return side of this piezo device, if you generate enough voltage, it will actually jump the gap and create a spark, and that spark is sufficient to ignite a combustible atmosphere. Then I want to create inside of this. So anyway, so here's my 18-inch chamber. This would be the combustion chamber. On the front side of this, I'm going to have a reducer to an 1.5 inch nozzle here. The 1.5 inch nozzle will accept an 1.5 inch PVC. I'm going to take it out about 2 feet probably, about like that. So my barrel will be about 2 feet long, so I'll end up with a little over 3 feet of gun. On the back side of this piece will be attached, and there will be a clean out that I'm going to use here. This clean out will be used for the purpose of cleaning sticky old burned up hairspray out of the system. And this is also going to be where I'm going to house my igniter. I'm going to try doing it all in the end of this, the igniter and the element. We'll see about that. Now I don't have a schematic for this, but again, just to rehash this, this is what it'll look like. I'm not going to have a hand grip on it. I'm planning, here, let me bring this camera up here. What I'm planning to do is have this be shoulder launched, and I'll probably put the igniter right here so I can aim, ignite, and have success. So yeah, so that's the plan. Let's see how it goes. So this igniter, let's see if we can find it here. This igniter comes mounted to a little metal bracket here. What I did is I sawed in from both sides of the bracket with a hacksaw to release just the insulator and the electrode. And this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to insert this into the clean out plug. I'm going to drill a hole through here, have it come out onto this side of the one side, I'm not sure which yet, I'm going to epoxy it in place in here so that it can't come out. I'm going to put some shrink wrap around this connection here, this little brass connection, so that that's insulated from the rest of the world. Taking my screw gauge here, it looks like this is 1/4 of an inch in diameter, so I'm going to use a 1/4 inch drill bit for the hole on this. There we go. But you can see right there, that's just the head of the electrode sticking through this side of the plug. Okay, so now the other hole will be just a hole that will allow me to put my return electrode in. So I just need something small. It'll come through here. Now what I intend to do with this, I'm going to mount my return electrode conductor onto this plastic surface with a screw, and then I'll form it so that it creates about a 3/16 inch gap away from the primary electrode. So this wire here will probably come around to my electrode. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to terminate this yet, but there will be yet another hole in here that I will use to secure the secondary electrode, or the return electrode. I think I'm going to use a paper clip. So I think I'll form this to become my secondary electrode. I want this to be big enough to accept a screw, and I'm not sure what I'm going to use for a screw yet. Let me see here. What do I have? Nope, those won't work. Oh, let's see. Screws. All kinds of screws. I cannot find the screw I'm looking for. Here. All kinds of stuff in here. I get into my work.
Oh yeah, I might have found it right here. Oh yeah, oh man, that's it, it's a nice
Plastic. Oh, self-tapping plastic. You know, it's not a sheet metal screw. It's not a wood screw. It's made for tapping into plastic. It has the right kind of threads, if you know what I'm talking about. Self-tapping. It's a tiny little bugger, but it's gonna do the job. This little screw guy here, she's got to go in the hole like that. See? See what I'm talking about right there? That's the little thing I'm talking about. Yeah. When this is screwed in place, we should have the necessary clearance. And I will cut this off. Put it away. Always put your tools away. Right here. This should do it. We can put our screw in the holder. Do you guys want to get closer to this? I mean, you know what you do. You want to get closer, don't you? I know. Hang on. I'm going to shut this thing off for just a second. We'll be right back, okay? All right. Okay, I think we're there now. So, let's see. Does this make sense? From here, now you can see I have my source electrode coming through in approximately the middle of this cap. And then I have a second hole here that's going to be for my secondary electrode, or the return electrode. And then I have drilled a pilot hole here for the secondary electrode itself. I'm going to screw that in. Now, with that in place, I should just be able to go ahead and cut the tip or the end of this off close. So let me grab some cutters. Okay, so now, can you see this? See what we have going on here? So now I can form this electrode to the height needed to get a good arc, and we can test that here in a second. With that done, what I think I will do is take my return electrode, and I'm just going to attach it to that same screw, perhaps with an eye if I have one. I'll see if I have one here. Let me, oh, we have all kinds of stuff in here. Yeah, you know what? Right there she is. This is gonna do it right here. I'm gonna just stick that in there. Perfect. Cut the end of this off. Yeah, like that. Yeah, we will do that, yeah. Okay, and I am going to strip this back a little bit if I can with just my bare hands and some side cutters. Oh yeah, she did it, eh? Look at that. She's a good one, you know. Okay, then we need some crimpers. Okay, let me see if I can find my crimpers. I'll be right back. I'm looking for him. Hang on. Just hang on. Oh, hey. They were hanging right there on the shelf. See here? Little crimp tools. Dang it all anyway. Oh, that search was all for nothing. Well, anyway, here we go. We're going to go ahead and put this in here. That should be plenty good right there. Good. Okay, so what I am going to do now is I'm going to put that right under the head of that screw. And I'm thinking just for added security, what I may do is put a star washer under that thing. Let me go find a star washer, okay? Right in here. We got screws, we got all kinds of stuff in here. Check at the bottom, see where I find the washers. Oh, here we get close, you know. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Oh, wait. Oh, this could work. Just, nah, this won't work. Oh, you gotta have a star one. Oh, this stuff is big. Yep, big. Let me turn this around. Look at this part. Got to be one here. You know? These that have star washers on the nut, you know? And I'm thinking, one of the things I could do is I could drill a hole, you know, straight through. I just have to find a screw, I mean a bolt. That I can put through there. Star washer nut. And then I would be all set. Just watch. I can find one. Oh boy. I only had one more of those. I know I saw one. Where are they? Come on. Oh. Yeah. Right there. Okay. Two. Perfect. Perfect. I've got them right there. Plans have changed, folks. Okay. I'm going to drill this hole out to accept this whole big darn screw right here. Drill this puppy out and see what happens. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this nut on upside down. There's a reason for that. Okay. Done that. Very good. Now, I'm going to cut this off. There we go. Now, that's the thing right there. Let's do a test. Let's go ahead and put the generator on. This is the generator. we're going to go ahead and hook this electrode into this end right here. Put this black electrode up here. Oops. Okay. Back here. Now let's try it. Yeah, we have spark. Okay. So that's going to work. Now I just have to seal the holes up.
And dab the resin. Yeah. We're going to take a dab of the hardener. An equal size dab. Mix the two together. Real important to get a good mix. Now this is quick set epoxy. It'll set up in 5 minutes. So you kind of have to work expeditiously. But you want to get a good mix. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. I'm going to take
some of this and just put it in around this hole. Right there. Try to stick some of it down inside of here. Then I want to take some of this and just put it into this hole here. Then take some more and sort of start it around the edge of this little guy. It looks like I had just enough epoxy. Going to go ahead and insert him in the hole. Just like that. And then take a little bit more here. Just put it around the edges. That will hopefully prevent it from blowing out. While the epoxy is setting up, lighting's weird, isn't it? How's that? Anyway, so while that epoxy is setting up, we're going to go ahead and start gluing some PVC together. We should be able to have everything done here in just a few minutes. Of course, we want those glue joints to set for about 24 hours at least before we put any kind of stress on them, but we'll get her together here and see how she looks. Okay, here we go. So Susie gave me her Fitbit when we were on vacation in the Finger Lakes. I bought her an Apple Watch because she just needs one. I mean, she's tiny. She's all of 5'1", and when she goes out jogging, she has this iPhone 6 Plus. I mean, she straps it to her shoulder. I mean, to her bicep, and but I mean that phone measures from her shoulder down to her elbow. And when she's running down the road, it's real awkward for her. She almost runs in circles because she's weighted pretty heavy on that side, you know, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so when I bought her that for her birthday, she gave me her Fitbit, and I thought, right, I'm going to use a Fitbit. Well, you know what? That little sucker's kicking my butt because it's got these challenges built into it. And when someone gives me a challenge, dang it, I don't know. There's something in me that says you got to do this. And so, like right now, I think I'm in the lead of the 50K step challenge. I've got like 62,000 steps. I don't know what period of time that was, but I've been going like 10, 11 days solid now without missing my goal. I mean, it's crazy. I might actually lose the 20 pounds I gained over the last 6 months. We'll see. So anyway, it gets a little difficult to get 10,000 steps a day. I mean, I don't know how many miles that is. I'm thinking a mile for me is about 1,500 steps. I'm not quite sure how accurate that is, but so I've been doing a lot of walking, folks. I have a lot of walking. I even started a little jogging again, and I used to jog. I used to be a runner. And after I did a half marathon one year back in 2010, I blew out my right knee and just decided that was it, no more. But you know what? It's coming back. I had some knee work done, and I'm the kind of person that likes to bite off more than I can chew. I really do. Sometimes I bite off too much. When I wanted to get back into running, so I started running like 5 miles at a shot after not running for a couple of years, and it just tortured my body. So Susie keeps telling me, you know, take it in small steps, increments. So that's what I'm doing, going in increments. I'm walking right now, so that's a good thing. All right. I think we got her. Okay. We're gonna let that set up for a bit. Because what's gonna happen now, see, is I'm gonna give this a couple shots of hairspray. Fill this compartment with a mixture of oxygen and hairspray. I'm gonna glue my igniter cap, or not glue it, I'm gonna screw this in place. Like so. And there we go. And so what I'll do is I'll have my igniter sitting here like this. And I'll be aiming. Something like that. Chow, ka-chow, ka-chow. You know, the goal here is I want to be able to throw my throw line up into a tree with this. I don't know if it's even going to work. You know, the pneumatic ones are probably a whole lot better than this one will ever be. But I can convert this to pneumatic. So if this doesn't work, we'll go on pneumatic. You know what I'm saying? Pneumatic. Heck, we might go hydraulic. You know, we might. That could happen. Stick around. We'll see. Okay, I gotta shut this off right now. Here we go. So it's gotten a little colder here in Northeast Ohio. It's rainy and wet out. It's my weekend off. Of course, it's rainy and wet out. but I don't want to be negative. Here's the igniter wiring, by the way, on the Canon. Oh, you can't see that, so I'm going to bring it back down. So what I did here is just put some shrink wrap around the two ends of this wire and these wires here. So what I'm going to do ultimately here is anchor these, something like that, to put a little bit of strain relief on it. I also want to put a couple little knobs on this. Let's see. There's right here a couple little injection molded sprues that have a little bit thicker plastic beneath them, so I'll probably put some screws in here and let them extend a little bit so I can use them as leverage to open and close this. From what I understand, the hairspray after a while will make this really hard to open, so my plan is to give myself a little bit of an advantage before I start getting it gunked up with hairspray. That. All right, that's pretty solid. Quite solid. Okay. Just a little bit of cable management in place. Wrong tool. So there you have it. So put this in place. Oh, that's nice. Look at this. I can just screw it in, get it tight enough. Doesn't need to be super tight. I have plenty of slack left over here to install my igniter. And when I want to take it off, got plenty of leverage. So we're good. We're golden. I can't wait to try this. I'm like chomping at the bit. I texted Susie a little while ago and said, hey, Suze, bring me some hairspray, okay, while you're out and about, because I really want to try this thing out. I might just try it with no load in the chamber, but really anxious to shoot something with it. My throwing weight is a little bit too heavy. This is a 16-ounce throwing weight. It's a little bit heavy. I mean, that's a pound. I don't know how far this thing can loft a pound of weight. So I'm thinking about getting a lighter one for use in this thing, but we'll see. And the other thing is it barely fits, but it's actually not a bad fit. What I have to do is I have to keep massaging all the little beads on the inside toward the back. And as I do that, this thing slowly makes its way into the chamber. Like that. Move this back a little bit. Just slide her in. Now the problem I have is I don't have a stop back here, so I either have to put a mark on my ramrod that tells me when to stop, which would be very easy to do, or I could do what I'm planning to do right now, and that is I'm just going to put some screws down through this collar. That way I can push this thing all the way in, don't have to worry about it sliding down inside the gas chamber or the combustion chamber. But yeah, it's a tight fit. So I'm loving it. So this is 1.5 inch PVC. All right. I'll be shouting back at you in a little while. It's still raining.
a miracle.
Gotta love life. Be kind to one another, folks.
That was sweet.
That was pretty cool.
Show 'em how it works.
Yeah, okay, so this is the cannon, and you unscrew the back here. This is a little 3-inch clean out, and put in about 3 shots of Aquanet hairspray in here, and then on the back side of this clean out is an igniter.
Yeah, hurry up, we're running out of video.
Okay, the igniter makes a spark whenever you push this button and ignites the mixture.
And that's how it works, boys and girls.
Oh! Oh, man! That was loud. Oh! 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 Go. Ready?
Yes.
That was a loud one.
That's a cool sound.
Yeah. This is the old homemade bazooka for when we go to war.